Tuesday, if it's okay with you, let's start at noon. I have to go to the doctor in the morning. Plus, we're somewhat ahead of schedule. So you don't need to log in until noon, but not 12:01. Noon, 12 o'clock on the dot. Yes? I might be back before that, but it's better to give yourself time. There might be traffic or something. So Tuesday, let's meet at noon. I don't know if your papers are due on the 12th, the 13th. I don't know. Do me a favor. The 13th, turn it in one day before the due date, just in case. That way, if you have internet problems or whatever, be smart, right? Plan ahead and prepare for the worst. So I recommend, so you're you can rid yourself of anxiety and worry. Turn it in one day ahead of the due date. That's what I would do. Okay, we are looking at an image here of Immanuel Kant. What am I doing? Right. Yes, there he is. And once again, as I said last time, he's one of the most important philosophers. Immanuel Kant is one of the most important philosophers, alongside with Hume, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. And we're going to go over his moral philosophy, of course. As I said last time, it's called deontological because he wants to give us an account of what one must do. Who is this one? It's a human being. What are human beings? Rational. So you're going to see that ethics has, according to him, a rational ground. According to him. Or should have a rational ground. Technical problems? Maybe. Yes? No? No. Okay. Wow. Where is it? I just said where he is in. It's okay, Egon. I said some important things, though. Ask your classmates for information. Okay, so the first thing Kant is going to do, and the information I'm going to give you comes from his very important work in ethics called The Groundwork for the Metaphysics of Morals. The Groundwork for the Metaphysics of Morals. By metaphysics of morals, what Kant means is a study of morality centered around the analysis of concepts. And by groundwork, what he means is foundation. So he doesn't claim to give us the entire story, okay? He's not going to, he doesn't claim to give us a complete ethical system. Aristotle also gave us an incomplete system because they think we're smart enough to figure things out on our own. And because they think that giving you the foundation is pretty good. You should be satisfied with that. Now, in his work, Groundwork for a Metaphysics of Morals, which is hard, it's hard to read. Kant is very hard to read for various reasons. for various reasons. One reason is that, well, we don't have the education today that Kant had back then, right? No one does. Maybe someone without it. In general, no. So he assumes we know certain things. We don't know. We have more technology today, right? But there are probably 3 people on the planet who understand how a radio works, who really understand how a radio works. Maybe 3 or 4 people. Right? So yeah, we have access to this or to that. Right? We can use smartphones, but we don't understand how these things work. Right? The guy who designed it, the gal who designed it, yeah, okay, but that's about it, right? I mean, really understand. So yeah, we have a lot of technology, but we don't have as much knowledge as someone who went to high school, for example, in the 1950s or 1940s. Just can't compare. And it's getting worse. So that's one reason why we cannot, it's so bad nowadays. It's so bad nowadays that some people actually believe that I'm intelligent. Right? When I'm not, right? Where they say, in the land in which everyone is blind, the person with one eye is king. Right? In the land where everyone is blind, the person with one eye is king. I have half an eye. Anyways, it's pretty bleak. So yeah, we don't have the knowledge. Also, Kant rushed his works. The idea is that the rumor, if you will, is that he was a hypochondriac. He thought he was dying. So he would rush it. His most important book is the Critique of Pure Reason. And that's probably the most important book in philosophy in the last 2,000 years. Don't read it. If you're interested, I can help you with it. I can suggest some materials to read. Don't go right into Kant. Right? There are philosophers who don't read Kant. They don't understand. Half of them do not read Kant. I know instructors who do not read Kant because they don't understand it. I understand it because I'm patient and I don't have a life. It's not intelligence, trust me. Patience, and I like riddles and puzzles. Yeah. If you like riddles, puzzles, you don't have a life, Kant is your guy. So he wrote the Critique of Pure Reason in 1781. Only a handful of people understood it. Oh, one more thing. He didn't write these works as bestsellers. They were not supposed to be bestsellers. It became a bestseller, but it wasn't supposed to be that kind of book. Anyways, he wrote the book in 1781. A handful of people understood it. They said, "Kant, baby, this is gold, baby. It's gold. But you gotta make it clearer. You gotta make it clearer. Others might want to understand." He said, "Okay, you're right. I can do it. So he wrote the second edition. It came out in 1787, I think. And it was worse than the first one. So they said, "Okay, stop writing, though. We've had enough." So very difficult to read. However, the book I'm going to read from, or talk to you about, The Groundwork for the Metaphysics of Morals, is not that difficult. You can read it, and you can there's some parts that are a bit challenging, but you do your research and figure out what something means. Turn off your cell phone and think, right? You can do it. In this book, he asks, what is the foundational moral principle? That's the first thing he asks in his work, The Groundwork. what is the foundational moral principle? Now, some people think that there are 10, right? The 10 commandments. That's fine. If you think so, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But Kant believed that there would have to be one. There must be something in common, right? There must be something in common that lots of ethical principles share. For example, he doesn't mention the 10 commandments, but one could reduce all of them, right? So something like be good, you know. There must be something that each commandment has in common with another one, right? So maybe we don't need 10, we could use 8. But maybe we could reduce these 8 to 7, 4, and then finally have only one ethical rule, right? Maybe that's wrong. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe you can't reduce or condense all of these commandments to just one rule that encapsulates essentially what it is that they command. Maybe you can't do that. But maybe you can. And Kant thought that there could be one foundational moral rule that would serve as the axis, the basis or the ground, right, of all ethical rules, right? So in a nutshell, he's saying, yes, there may be many moral principles, but if you think about them, you'll see that they can be derived or gotten from one moral principle. So this is his first assumption. Then he asks, well, what is this moral principle? What is the foundational moral principle? He thinks that if he discovers the foundational moral principle, then this rule will help him or guide him as he does ethics, right? So if he discovers the foundational moral principle, and then he's thinking about other moral principles, he'll see whether or not they're any good. If the other moral principles that he's considering somehow coincide with the foundational moral principle, the supreme law of morality, then those other rules are good. Think of the Constitution, right, of the United States. That's the supreme law of the land. All of the other laws must be such as to coincide with it. They shouldn't violate the Constitution. There are laws that violate the Constitution. They shouldn't be there. So, yeah, we have the supreme law of the land, the Constitution. And we can see whether or not some particular law is any good. If it is consistent with the Constitution. If it is, then we can keep it. If it isn't, throw it out. So similarly, Kant wants to find the supreme moral law so that he may be able to determine later whether some particular moral law is any good or not. So I don't know why the top is like that. So what is the foundational moral principle? This is the question. Once again, why does Kant ask this? He believes that it will help him. It will guide him when he undertakes a metaphysics of morals. But that's the question that launches the book. What is the foundational moral principle? Well, how do you discover it, right? That's the question. Yeah, he doesn't know yet. At this stage, he doesn't know yet. At this stage, he's still in the dark. He's going to investigate it. And by the way, my dear students, pay very close attention to this lecture on Kant. Kant will show up again in your studies. And he's like Jason from Friday the 13th. You think you're done with him, he shows up again, right? Kant is very important. He'll pop up all the time. Oh yeah. He'll pop up all the time. Oh, not Kant again. Not Kant again. Well, if you listen to my lecture on Kant, and you remember it, you keep your notes, you're going to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game. So keep them. Don't. A lot of the things you learn in this course are to be remembered, like modus ponens, modus tollens. Don't just pass the course. Okay, I got an A. I'm great. I'm intelligent. No, the A doesn't mean anything. Get that A out of your head. Nothing. Lots of people are getting A's, and when lots of people have power, no one has power, because power implies someone is subjugated. If someone has power, someone must lack power. Otherwise, you can't have power. If you're powerful, someone must be beneath you. It's the way it is. But if everyone has power, then no one has power. If everyone has an A, then the A loses its significance. So don't be too happy about your A's and B's. Don't be happy at all, I would say. However, the information you get, the information is valuable. It'll help you in your academic career. And in other areas too. Although you might not see it now, it will. Right, so usually the exam. Well, the problem that I had with you, I think it was you and someone else who turned the midterm in late. Is that you or someone? Who is it? Yeah. So just try to do the best you can. Try to do the best you can. I have faith in you. Don't worry. But usually extra credit is for students who turn things in on time, right? But I wouldn't worry either. Yeah, if you're late to class or you miss class or you turn a paper in late or you turn something in late, yeah, I think you're okay. Don't worry. Don't ask for extra credit, right? Because you're not even doing the minimum. But I wouldn't worry. I think you're a good writer, and I read someone else, I think it was Gabriela, also pretty good. Good at this level. You're good now, right? Yeah, you still need to improve. Right, so Kant is going to analyze certain things. Certain things that we take for granted or commonsensical, right? The first thing he thinks about is the concept of the goodwill. What is a goodwill? Or if you prefer, what is a person with a goodwill like? So he's thinking maybe I'll find the supreme moral principle. Maybe I'll find the supreme moral principle, supreme moral law, foundational moral law. Maybe I'll find it if I think about the goodwill, what a goodwill is. So let's just give that a shot, right? So what is a goodwill? And what the first thing Kant says is that, and you're supposed to say Kant, like in the way that the British say can't. I can't go to the store. I can't read. I can't fly like a bird. They say I can't. I can't read. I can't go to the. That's how you're supposed to say can't. I always mispronounce it. Can't. Anyways, doesn't matter. And the first thing that Kant says about the goodwill is that it's something you always want, right? It's something you always want. You want to have it yourself, and you want others to have it. Right? It's a virtue or a quality that you want everyone to have, including you. Why? Well, let's compare it. Compare the quality or the good quality or the virtue of goodwill to intelligence. Do we want everyone to be intelligent? No, we don't want the enemy to be intelligent. So sometimes the world is better off if people aren't as intelligent, because you could get a batch of human beings that are highly intelligent and evil, right? Like the Emperor in Star Wars, right? Who says, I feel your hate. It makes you stronger. That guy, that's not good. You don't want those people, right? It helps me focus or something. What does he say? Helps you focus. I always tell my students that I feed off their hate. I get that from the Emperor. Right? It's not true, I really don't. But anyways, you don't want hateful, intelligent beings. So intelligence is a quality we like, but not 100%. The same for courage. Hey, we like courage. We're big fans of courage. Well, not everyone. We don't want the enemy combatant to be courageous. We want people to be analytical, but we don't want the enemy to be analytical. We want the enemy to be stupid. Right? However, with a goodwill, there's something different going on. According to Kant, the goodwill is something we always want. It would be good if you have a goodwill. It would be good if I had a goodwill, and it would be great if the Emperor in Star Wars developed a goodwill. It would be great if the enemy combatant developed a goodwill. That means that he or she is going to treat the prisoners in accordance with the Geneva Convention rules. It would be good if the evil dictators in the world right now and the evil presidents, right? Because there are evil dictators and evil presidents, don't forget, right? I'm not going to say which ones. It would be good if they subtly developed a goodwill, right? So the goodwill is awesome because it's something that we always want for us and for others. And there it is in a PowerPoint slide. It is always praiseworthy. Are there any questions for your boring instructor? Let me know. Okie dokie. All right. Okay, so the goodwill is something we always want. It is always praiseworthy. What else is a goodwill? What else is it, right? Well, Kant remembers Hume. Don't forget, as I said last time, David Hume awoke Kant out of his dogmatic slumbers. German philosophy so boring, says Kant. I'm done with it. And finally he reads the Scot David Hume with the Ottoman headdress, and Kant says, brilliant, I've been awakened from my dogmatic slumbers. But as I told you last time, Kant always argues against Hume. If Hume says A, if you've ever taken an exam and you know that Hume says something, but you forgot what Kant said, it's the opposite. Always. So, Kant remembers that Hume said that the moral person, or the person with a good will, is someone equipped with the psychological mechanism of sympathy. Right? And because the good person possesses sympathy, he or she can identify with others. And this moves the person to act. The person has an inclination to act. Right? So Kant asks, what else is a good will? What does it do and why? Does it act out of inclination? Because it is moved in the way that Hume said. And of course, Kant's going to say no. Right? According to Kant, identifying with others and feeling their pain, so to speak, and being moved by this, having an inclination, therefore, to assist others, does not make you moral. It does not make you moral. According to Kant, someone like Mother Teresa, who feels other people's pain because of sympathy, and then has the inclination, is inclined to act and help others because of her benevolent heart. Someone like Mother Teresa, according to Kant, is not moral, right? If you are walking down the street, right, and you see a stray cat, you see a stray dog, and you feel bad, and you're inclined to help the stray cat, you're inclined to help the stray dog, and you do, well, Hume says you're acting morally. Kant's going to say you're not acting morally. It's nice. He's going to say it's nice if you want to help the cat, if you want to help the dog, if Mother Teresa wants to alleviate the suffering of the lepers, it's nice. It's not bad. It's a nice quality, but it's not morality. Morality is something else, according to Kant. It's not based on sympathy, it's not based on a feeling, and it has nothing to do with how you are moved to act, right? So, does the good will act out of inclination? And Kant says no. Inclination does not play a role in morality. If, for example, you help others because you are so inclined, then you are just doing what you like to do. But doing what you like to do does not mean that you have moral worth. So Kant's going to say, look, you're just born that way. it's just your nature to help others if that's the case. Right? If you see something, you identify with it immediately for some reason, and then you are moved. That's just the way you are. But if you watch a movie and you start crying, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing praiseworthy in it either. You're just sentimental, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't make you moral, right? If you watch a movie and you start to cry, we've all done it, right? If you hear a song and it moves you, you're just responding. It's just an animal response. It's just an animal response. For cats, having feelings is being an animal. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing really amazing about it. You're just wired in this way. So he's not going to say, look, stop helping people. He doesn't say, don't feed the homeless, right? He's not saying, don't rescue a stray dog. Don't cry during the movie. Do all those things. That's super duper, right? But that's not morality. You're just doing what you are wired to do. Just as some man, right, is fixed on some woman, right, and he has certain ideas, right. That's just animal nature. Just as the tiger pounces on its prey. We don't praise the tiger. The tiger is wired to do that. It's just instinct. So that's why Kat says that inclination, being moved to act, has no place in morality. Now, whether you agree or disagree, the point that what matters to me is, do you understand what he's saying? Yeah. You could disagree, of course, right? None of these people are sacred cows. That's one of the good things about philosophy. You can disagree with people. For now, anyway. We'll see how long that continues. So he thinks Hume is wrong. Sorry, David Hume. If you are naturally disposed to helping others, then you are just doing what you feel like doing. Keep at it. We like your disposition, but it's not praiseworthy. It's just your nature. One time, I worked. I worked at a video store, and the manager, may he rest in peace. I think he died from AIDS. I think that he was gay, but he never told anyone. Then we found out later. This is when I'm old, right? So this is back when it was difficult to get treatment, right? Very difficult. This is back in the 90s, I think. Yeah. Great guy. He used to come to work and bring us food. He used to make lasagna at home and bring it to work. Delicious. And drinks. And one day I told him, my boss, right? I told him, I said, hey man, you're always bringing these things. You're a great guy, you know. Thank you so much. Right? And he said, oh, it's just the way I am. I can't help it, right? He's at home and he's thinking about the people at the store, right? And he prepares something for them. But if he were not to do it, that would be a sacrifice for him. You see? If he were not to do it, that would be difficult for him. So some people are just like that. I wish everyone were like that, but Kant says they're just being themselves. Okay, so what is a good will? Well, it's something we always want, never to be forfeited. It's something that we never want to get rid of. We want everyone to have it. What else is it? Does it act out of inclination? No. Okay, so it doesn't act out of inclination. That's fine. Perhaps the good will acts from an understanding of what the consequences will be. Or perhaps what makes a good will good are the consequences. Suppose I do things. Suppose you do things. And the consequences are good for the majority. They benefit the majority. They help the majority. Well, then certainly that would be the good will, wouldn't it?